President John Dramani Mahama abwa Japanese businessmen ton Ghana at the moment. Me no go everything the president said. So what let's take our time on this particular channel. And then boy could say we now Fedi say who we are. You ask yourself, say, is the president on the right track or not? So I'm taking you straight to Japan. President John Dramani Mahama is a businessman in Japan. And semi president Enomo kind. But you take your time and let's watch the video together. Who we are, you might understand everything I'm going to say here.
So, ladies and gentlemen, without taking much of your time, shall we please invite to His Excellency the podium, the President of the Republic of Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Oh, please be seated. Sorry. Thank you very much, and good morning to all of you. Let me thank Simon for that very comprehensive presentation of the opportunities that our country has to offer. And I wonder whether after Simon is necessary for me to even speak. We marketed our country, quite efficiently than anybody can be able to do. But let me just say, the question is, why would you want to invest in a country like Ghana? We're open for business, and Simon and Co are busy at work reviewing the Ghana Investment Promotion Center Act. Some barriers were put to foreign investment. You had to prove that you had brought in a certain amount of money to be classified as a foreign investor. In the reviewed Ghana Investment Promotion Center Act, we're removing those minimal capital investments. This will enable any investor, however little money you have, $100,000, $50,000, to be able to come in and set up a business in Ghana. And not only to do with the economic opportunities, but that Ghana is a stable, democratic, business-friendly gateway to West Africa and the continent. And like you said, we have a growing consumer market with improving macroeconomic fundamentals, clear reforms to lower the cost of doing business, and abundant opportunities for technology transfer. And the thing is, what does Ghana have to offer? Strategic geographical location. Ghana is a country through which the meridian and the equator intersect. The two intersect in Ghana's territory, just a few kilometers off our shore. And it's also the host country for the African Continental Free Trade Area. You all have heard the landmark protocol that was signed by African countries. So far, almost 50 African countries have signed that allow us to export duty-free, tariff-free into each other's markets. Increasing numbers of products are being registered. And once you register your product and it meets all the standards, you can export duty-free and tariff-free into each other's markets. And as you were told, the sub-regional market, which is West Africa, is 400 million people. Ghana is 33 million people. And the continental market is 1.4 billion people. And so with the vehicle of the African Continental Free Trade Area, you potentially can export into 1.4 billion market. Simon said it, we are re-establishing macro stability and the growth momentum of the economy. Inflation rose to a high of almost 23% in 2024 and is currently down to 13.7%. And we expect that by the end of the year to hit single digit. And it's also, our cedi has stabilized. For those of you who know the history of the Ghanaian cedi, it's been one of the most volatile currencies in Africa. And a few years back, we were said to be the worst performing currency. I'm happy to announce that this year, Ghana cedi has been the best performing currency in the world. And as Simon said, we've been upgraded from junk status to B- with a stable outlook. And I'm certain that in the next review, we're going to be upgraded again. Again, we have a track record for hosting Japanese companies. And as you saw from the list there by Madame Jetro, Executive Vice President, the number of Japanese companies that are operating in Ghana is significant, and we're expecting that that should expand. From Simon's presentation, he told you about $152 million has been invested over the last few decades. We believe that there is growth room for improvement and expanded investment from Japan. We're moving just not only from overseas development assistance, but we're moving to trade and investment. And the private sector will be that engine of growth. And so trade between our two countries grew by over 24% from 2020 to 2024. That is quite a significant jump. Priority sectors, Simon mentioned, Japan has a comparative advantage when it comes to automobile manufacturing. And like I said, using the opportunity to be able to export into not only our sub-region but into Africa, then Ghana becomes a good place for local assembly of automotive products. And already we have Japanese companies that are based in Ghana and assembling for the local market and also for exporting to the sub-region. Brands like Toyota, the Honda is there, and several other ones. He mentioned the area of agribusiness and agro-processing. Of course, that is one of the main focus in terms of economic transformation. Ghana has a comparative advantage when it comes to agriculture and agribusiness in terms of available arable lands, in terms of sunshine, in terms of water. We have the world's largest man-made lake. It's one of the things we were taught in school, the Volta Lake. And our first president had quite a good dream about what he wanted to do with that lake. And we're going to capture that in what I talk about when I talk about the Volta Economic Corridor. We have millions of hectares of land that border that huge lake. And the water can be used to bring about 2 million hectares of land under irrigation. But also we intend to establish industrial parks, so that we can process agri-products. We can invest in textile manufacture for export into the EU markets, into the American markets, and other places. Fortunately, we got slapped with only a 15% tariff by President Trump. And so Ghana is still competitive when it comes to exporting into the American market. And so, like I said, the economic corridor would include manufacturing and industrial parks. And we already have 2 industrial parks. We have the Free Zones Enclave. We have the Tema Industrial Park. But there's a new one that has come up, which is the Dawa Industrial Park. And already the anchor tenants have built and are producing, and several other companies are setting up for producing in Ghana and exporting into the African and foreign markets. One of the major areas, growth areas for Ghana is in energy. And Ghana has a comparative advantage when it comes to energy production. Our first president was the first to establish the Akosombo Hydroelectric Dam, which is a 1,020 megawatt hydroelectric power plant. We have subsequently had other hydro plants, including the Pong hydroelectric power plant and then the Bui hydroelectric power plant. So there are 3 of them. But after a while, we realized that these hydro plants were not enough to supply the energy needs of Ghana. And so we went into thermal production. The good news is that once we went into thermal production, side by side, we discovered huge quantities of oil and gas. And we took a decision to utilize the gas for power production. And so we have a gas to power policy. And so our thermal plants are being run on gas. We're bringing new gas fields into operation. And because we're members of the West African Power Pool, our energy transmission systems are interconnected with our neighboring countries. And so any excess of power we're able to produce, we can evacuate and sell to our neighboring countries because we have a comparative advantage when it comes to power. Our cost is much lower than they can produce it themselves using fuel oils. Ghana has three important ports. One is the old Tema ports. There are two ports in Tema, if for most people don't know that. We have the old port that was built by President Kwame Nkrumah, which is a smaller one. And recently we built a much bigger port, which is the MPS port. So there are two ports in Tema. And then we also have the port in Takrady. Currently, the port in Tema, the MPS port, is one of the best performing ports in Africa. And it is able to accommodate the largest cargo ships that exist in this world. This year, about 3 of those cargo ships, the largest in the world, have berthed in Tema to lighten because we have a deep draft. And so they're able to come into Tema and lighten the cargo before they move to our sister ports in Nigeria, Apapa, Lomé, and Cote d'Ivoire. We also have an important area which is digital economy and skills. And like Simon said, Ghana has a very young population, English speaking, and they're very smart and quick to upskill in any areas, robotics, AI, fintechs. The fintech sector is one of the fastest growing in Ghana than in any other African country. And so GIPC sold itself. It says it will fast track your approvals. And so any investor who wants to come, your first port of call is the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. And once you go, they would lead you and fill out all your company registration forms, get you your tax identification number and everything. And Simon said in 24 hours. And so I'm holding him to that promise. Any of you who comes and he goes beyond 24 hours, just report him to me. I talked already of the Volta Economic Corridor, and so we're looking for anchor businesses to take advantage of that. We also have the opportunities for mitigating your risk by doing PPPs, that is, government will partner with you to invest if you are interested. We currently do not provide sovereign guarantees in terms of borrowing, but our guarantees are that your business, will be protected and will not be expropriated. We also have blended finance for huge projects, and so that is available. We have local partnership, and as you were told, some of our big businessmen are here, and so setting up joint ventures with Ghanaian businessmen who know the terrain and would be something that is useful. And so I invite you to pilot with that. Select any of the areas. If it's automotive, if it's agro-processing, it is investment in green transition. You can join us and partner to be able to do that. You can use Ghana, as I said, as your West African hub and locate your regional office in Ghana or your production line in Ghana for export into the sub-region. You can also invest with our universities and vocational institutions to establish training centers that will be tied to whatever investments that you want to do. Ghana is a land of opportunity, and many nationals from all over the world are investing in Ghana. As I said, we wish to, because of the discipline, quality standards, and industrial wisdom that Japanese businessmen have, we wish to encourage Japanese businessmen to look towards Ghana.
All right, indeed, the president of the lands called Japan, no? Ambassador Kojucho, a lead delegation, no? Until we NPP near, almost say the investment opportunity at President Kwafa, that is what you need to discuss, because it's Ghana we want to develop. But as in when you look at what the president actually said, that he made mention of education, tourism. It's like something that we need to develop very well in Ghana. That is going to bring in more inflows of foreign cash. Technology, so President Kasafa, agro-business and agro-processing, industrialization, technology, getting the youth, because we are teaming youth now who are ready to work. We need more opportunity to flow into the country. We NPP now, so we won't. But right now, Kwanya President Faswa, who could do so, is what you are discussing. That is what you want Ghanaians to talk about. But rather, not what the president is going to bring on board the country, in shaping the destiny of the country. That is not your focus. That is not your target. Member of Parliament, or a lawyer near Sebi, onim adeko efe the search warrant, a question why and as to how the president traveled to Japan. Think as every Ghanaian is stupid. That is what NPP for me, because they think say yeah being a nyejuma. But there's a Ghana for tesuko ko da chiro mamu mo se debi adweno eyejuma. We are not going to talk about how the president got there. What the president is going to bring is what is more important to the Ghanaian, especially the youth in a yepe adwuma ye no. And for the first time in my history, Kwaku Baako eka asem bi me be atwam, and I still do agree with Kwaku Baako. Say see about presidential jet one sema a champon time a BC Rollins time a BC Kufuor time a BC John Mahama time a BC and to see a bit me depoliticize the presidential jet and other things na and can beje. Yeah, I do agree with him for the first time with Kwaku Baako, and then in documents on the buy and I do agree with him Kwaku. I do agree 100% with Kwaku Baako on this. Documents man no. Hey, Ghana's here in Samabaho. And Kwaku Baako in 2021, and making this particular call, which I do 100% agree with him, because as a president, you can hear me say, I was a DN or the Kwaba. As a president, and nothing Kwana said, Ghana for serious. NPP for because we are building a better society. That is how we need to build a better society for our nation. NPP for the
Jimmy for party job. What's your NPP then? A Jimmy for party.
Wow. And we need to focus as a nation. We need to focus and target, because president, if you will be a president in a leading delegation, I go to Japan, if Japan or Singapore, I go pay investors abaminum. Or see the limits near the two sika so I would be investor Ghana. The president account say, well, yeah, free. So any business person you can come back to Ghana and invest. If I show you Ghana near me, now you also believe in things that you also have investment opportunities somewhere between investors about Ghana. The doors and the corridors is opened. Bring them on board and let's develop the nation. That is what we all want to do. Which for this is the debate with Munufie. Any William Munufie Amankona. I present issues and data. I build it upon and then build a better society. Because the president say you are the largest man-made lake in Ghana. We can develop it. Because our lake, the president can say maybe he bet him the tourism about. He bet me expand the area agree on irrigation, textiles. He bet me establish a lot of companies or tourism recreational facilities, a lot of things. Oh, that man-made lake no. What are we as Ghanaians using it for? Instead of a member of parliament thinking this direction, no. Sebe nkwasi asem ena odwen ho Ghana ye me de yenya tra ntebusia for me yanko yenim. So what question be bisa me, you have the opportunity to ask me any question that you think say you have, but me boss na fi de mere bia no me ne onyina atenam na ya bobo mu pepepe enti none like Jesus. JDM is the second coming of Kwame Nkrumah. I believe in, I trust in that, because if you the direction of Kwame Nkrumah de Ghana koyena is becoming clear that is the same direction His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Edi Ghana ko, and then the NPP for no baby you see as a people it's a minima and say ye agent see me party amade a enye me party ama enye da bi Ghana na nyina chichire Ghana ene nyina chichire ni o kai kwe say you are good to analyze things, you are too good to analyze things. Me nyame da say why are there. That's a pa. That is how I've been doing my presentation, because I present issues, I analyze it, and I have to listen, because political actors, they make utterances with choice of words. And one thing about me as a person, they say, let me make it a bit larger. Now maybe I can say this thing straight away. Because when you watch this particular channel, I do things differently than others, because I've done my bachelor in tourism studies. I did bachelor in tourism. And then I also have a master's degree in tourism as well. And then I've done tourism as well, from bachelor to master's degree. I also have that. So I know how to develop tourism industry very well. I also have master's degree in international relations. And then I also did a bit of studies to become a diplomat. That is what I also decided to do. Then after that, I did law. And then I also have a master's degree in law. So when I analyze issues, I know how to analyze issues and I take my time. That is why I don't insult. And I'll hear me say, oh, so something like that. I take my time to do a lot of things. That is why I've been doing that. Now, before I'm about to go down on this today, let me in the Bible, but there is something I want us to discuss. You know, be a friend, Raf, Echo, Rich Hospital or so. Any nurses and any nipa bi kunya encounter bi wo ho. And then that thing seems to be taking a political twist. So some people are saying, say, because whilst NDC was in opposition, Raf was demonstrating a favor NDC, you know, a NDC for Natete Raf, Amana Bedu say, it has taken a political twist. And that is the truth. Because Ghana, we need to understand, say, sometimes there are serious issues in the society. It's to say, be addressed as Ghanaians, you know, near turning your politics. Rafu Babiada, I've never met him. I don't even know him. When he was demonstrating, he was arrested. I have no idea what he was doing. I don't follow those kind of things because the only thing I know is, oh yeah, Ghana developing Kwanda. I don't have any problem with you. I don't have any issues with that. But I also do follow, and I say, in a way, agree with Obi or person or effective change in our society. I've listened to Raf and I've listened to the nurses. If I told you any kind of nurse and ask them what kind of say, besides the DNA course, I brought Raf Kohono, you answer nurse and Edemai. When I come back, I'll explain something to you.
When he came in, he wanted us to leave everybody and attend to him. So we explained to him.
Who?
Raf.
Okay.
We explained to him. And then he was like, he wouldn't sit down. And my intern told him to get a card, a hospital card. He said, why should he get a hospital card? Because his name must be in the system. Once his name is tied in the system, it should everything should pop up. And my intern said, no, it's not done like that in Ghana. There he was angry because he was told it's not done that. That is not done in Ghana. And he started insulting us. We don't want Ghana to progress. Then he brought out the phone. But initially, I did a pressure dressing for him.
Okay.
In his finger that he said it was bleeding. It had bled. Okay. The blood had dried.
Okay.
So I just had to put a gauze on it so that we reassure him.
Okay.
He wasn't happy about it, so he took off the dressing I did for him.
Okay.
Then I approached him and I told him that I've done a dressing for you, so be patient. We have 2 trauma cases and other cases too are there. He wants us to leave them. He got angry and he started yes. So he did this to me. And then when he went out, I don't know where the guys came from. Most of the health workers saw them earlier, so they had flee. I didn't see them. And then they, from my back to my chest, and then they were just...
Did they push you? Were you pushed? What did they do? What did they do to you?
Yes, I was hit. I don't know if it was a fist, a tap. I can't describe the...
But what happened to your hands?
Raphael, I don't know. Raf did this to me. He hit me with the phone with the fist. And I even dodged a couple of the fists. They hit me
all over.
But right now I have a dislocation on my shoulder. And some headaches and...
Yeah, some more Ghana. I was say the question say sometimes I laugh. Oh, say Ghana, we trained criminals in the society. Assemble as ye hear the substance of assembly no na they play politics. When how nurse na chichire ne sa a chichire ne ko ya de manya no. Me minim say throw no odi. Throw no odi. I say NPP for an ye call about what ye pium kakra we when they were coming to the conference. When how no ma chichire o manam e bi na nurse ne ye no. Ralph say I don't minim Ralph baby I don't also or hospital wa mo kan chere say onko no no mumo yare no enko no onko to ade man say na momotim da chere ne so no say ade na monye na monfa nka me bell ho and that's and na ensu so kind of disturbances e cause no e man nurse ne kan chere say Ghana mpanyifo no e no corruption ntino mo ntone ma kran fa hospital ho instead of addressing the poor healthcare system in the society no abet dan politics nipa yare at the hospital and as obi yare ko hospital na mo de mo so ono ankasa nko no nko to cutting and na addressing no. We are not addressing that issue as a people, but rather no the mere person said Ralph aye politics amana favor NDC and as why demonstration amana favor NDC it has twisted into a political system. So ebeto what the wow NPP ni awo ni age no obeko hospital ye bi be ye o e ma ba Ghana e de akwala akọ hospital e de na tena bench so e na ebodi nsuo. Very very bad healthcare system. Me de mian kasa me ma akọ hospital e de na to hospital bed so a bed sheet eni so I asked them how many bed sheets. I'm saying this Techima Holy Family Hospital because me fit Techima I send my mother there Holy Family Hospital emergency you dey to bed no say what a bed spread. Maybe someone say why are you laying here on the bed without anything without pillow without bed spread or anything almost many be me the nipa ko hospital ya kini moja ere call lab no I have to carry the blood no the sample no from where hey bagana is dangerous now wouldn't be nurse no also Rafa bono no this is the footage me makwa ko hunu hospital wankasa yenyina yenhwe wo de hwe na obi hunu ye men kasa yenyina yenhwe. Nurse no gina ho ase Ralph Kobono so koja definitive no or the same person na chichichiri nenza say yakunu no
Body pain.
Into your hands. Into your hands.
Raphael, I don't know. Raph did this to me. He hit me with the phone with the fist, and I even dodged a couple of the fists. And they hit me
All over.
But right now I have a dislocation on my shoulder and some headaches and body pains.
Anyway, Ghana no your words against my words. Minim na dey no kre. Obi a video where you say we hitting we so footage from the hospital no just say ya hetel. So anyway, I don't want to judge. Me nya judge. E quarter. Say you know be hu asem ye ko. But my point is say enye bibia e na say e take a political twist in the system. Mama yenka asem no. Mama yenka asem no because bad and improper healthcare system in the Ghana no. E na say ye can. Imagine what else wow we are to hospital e na be hu. Obi ohwe ma water chima Holy Family Hospital patients at that from a bike or what yeah they say paper cardboard that from there not to so it's a minimum we are not addressing these kind of things but Obi Koka they are turning up in the politics meetings and when I speak ill against the system organ it will take a political twist because somebody will say we were NDC and that's why he's talking like that and he's saying to say we are not addressing national issues but rather it takes political twist anyway that is what we're going to do. As to what happened there, I mean, hobby. But footage I remember who and my actual and nurse and also say abono. Meaning it could do what we're going to assess all these kind of things. But Mr. Ghana for we should not let everything that happens on the country and I say in our country they take a political twist. no man take political twist. A basa na yentimi nya a proper answer na ye hwehwe no. And that is my problem here. Enti abusafo ene me de besi we ha na nyame ya adoma ochena same time e be san ato so na afide yedi nkomo no abom. Anyesa yenya asamlekwe na nka. Enti Ralph maybe also reactionary call hono anya de I don't know why you decided to go and do those kind of things. But say ubetimi asesa along the pointer ebeboa onyesa Ghana no Kwame Nkrumah wanted to fight the system no. He was imprisoned. Sana system. Rollins Munyina is a fighting system no. They suffered the same fate. One way you be pushed. Now for the work to baby as just photos. We be able there. Me that say. Me Nyaba was asking me about Nyomna media Nyomna. I believe say Raskuku Nyomna na okano. Ghana. Me mine. I just said Raskuku because I've been playing Raskuku and I said Kwesi Swat Nyom. So I don't know which one you were asking me. But I think say that is how I've been doing this particular show. Enti and then me the besi we ha. Ni Okaiko will say, please, what is the name of the one who played the reggae song you use as your jingle? Ni Okai, I think it's either Raskuku and I say Kwesi Swat because I've been playing 2 reggae music here, and so I don't know the one actually you're talking about. But me tabo Raskuku because me pe Raskuku as a when Kwesi Swat so and particular one also me there. Enti me da was say we bisa. That means you'll be listening and watching me very, very carefully. Me that's it. Enti ene me debate with nyame adom ochena. I'll be back on the show. This is the debate with Munufie. Me din any William Munufie amankona. Wa onya mrehwe me bia the truth, chiti chata, Emily, no bab, just photos, ma Priscilla, why are they? Nyina mo me do bi ase. Wa mantima mo odin so ya na me soro. O de ache me nyame adom a ochena same time. Oni mentina ye ba be ka no kure no se na mmere bia. You can, that is how I've been doing it. It will be assy. Bye bye.
Release this Black Prophet alongside Ras Cuckoo.
Aye. Cuckoo. Cascades on it.
My Madagana. African and me free Madagana. We pay woman so yeah, come on. Yamia chacha the NTM.